Presumably at this hour, the movie people are getting ready. We understood yesterday they were going to hire a couple of hundred extras who would be stationed in the park across from the demolition. Also some actors some stuntmen who will drive up in front and then peel across the park as part of the movie making that'll be going on here. It should be quite a display. When is it going to happen? We don't know. 9 o'clock was the opening of the window. That's right about now. There will be sirens counting us down to the moment. And we'll, of course, bring that to you live. Kim?
Speaking of actors, Steve, what about Mel and Danny Glover? Are they out there today?
We understand they are not. We are told that last night's stuntmen who will take their place in the car scene that will be shot in front of the hotel flew in very early this morning. That's what we're told. We're kind of waiting to see, though.
May disappoint a lot of people who go out there. Thanks, Steve.
Yes.
And now,
it's important to remember here, what we're going to see is only going to last like 8 or 10 seconds. However, Eyewitness News has set up a variety of cameras to try to bring you the full flavor of what you're going to see, and we'd like to walk through our shots now. We'll have this shot, of course, which is from the roof of one of our satellite trucks, but we also have another camera just to the south of here. That is set up in front of the fountain that is immediately in front of the hotel, in front of Straub Park. Actually, what this shot is from the garage, the South Core garage over on Central Avenue. This will be a nice side shot. Now we'll go to the fountain shot. That's what it'll look like from the front, and this is where you'll see most of the flames, because this is what the movie cameras want to capture. Those extras and cars in front, by the way, are part of the movie. They're supposed to be there. We'll also have a shot from behind. That's a dead man's camera, an unmanned camera we were allowed to leave in our offices in the South Trust Bank building, so we'll get a rear view. And that camera is a very special camera. That one is inside, and we will actually be able to see some of the demolition as it occurs. So we're going to bring that to you whenever we hear those sirens and we get this thing going. Kim?
we'll be waiting, Steve. Thanks a lot. Good morning, I'm Kim Keelor. We're sorry to interrupt your program, but believe me, we have something better. St. Petersburg's Soreno Hotel goes out with a bang today. The historic structure is being demolished to make way for downtown redevelopment. But even though it will become a thing of the past, it will live on in film. Eyewitness News reporter Steve Nichols is live in downtown St. Petersburg awaiting the implosion. Steve, what's the word right now?
Kim, in a very short while here, we should be seeing a well-orchestrated act in front of us involving both actors and a couple of different sets of demolition. The main event, of course, is the implosion, and an implosion is different from an explosion because the debris of this building will fall in as opposed to falling out. That is because there are a couple of 100 pounds of dynamite scattered all the way through the building. We showed you this morning how a few ounces here, a few ounces there are in the columns on several of the floors, and the idea is just to make those columns crumble and everything to fall in the middle. However, the makers of Lethal Weapon 3 are also here for this event. They'll be providing the fireworks, black powder, and gasoline that will provide a lot of fire and probably a pretty big bang. Now, right before that happens, there are extras who are in front, and there's a stunt car off to the side. What we expect to see, all pretty much at the same time, is the stunt car will drive up, the building will start to blow, the spectators will run back, and the stunt car will drive across Straub Park. I think Straub Park, maybe back up that street, but I was told Straub Park. Anyway, it should be pretty exciting, and it's going to be coming up here very shortly. We have a variety of cameras. It's all set, all around, to show you this from several different angles. This is the one that we have over by the fountain, which will probably show you the crowd running forward. We also expect to see the most flame from this shot, flames going from the roof and from the windows. Tom Stebbins is showing the side of the building from the garage, and here from the South Core garage over on Central Avenue, here you'll probably see the building crumble. We expect to get a very good shot of that also from the back, where we have a camera mounted up in a skyscraper. And this is the camera that we have, I believe, inside that'll show some of the pillars actually being blasted away. We put a camera so that you can see the blankets. You might see some debris penetrate the chain link and the blankets that have been wrapped around the columns. We still have not heard another siren. There was supposed to be a 10-minute warning, and then a 2-minute warning, and then a 15-second warning. Just right before we went on the air, we heard the 2-minute warning. There was no 10-minute warning, so at this point we're just waiting. We don't know if we'll be able to hear the countdown from back here either. So a lot of this is just waiting and watching, but we believe we are within 2 minutes. Everything has to go just so. So once they've started the countdown, their internal countdown, we pretty much have to stick to the program.
Steve, you've got a real good-sized crowd out there, it looks like.
Yes, in fact, we're wondering how many people there really are, because there are some places to see it like down the street. You have to be a block away. Right here, there are several hundred people, maybe 1,000. Yep, another siren, Kim. Don't know what that meant, but that could mean that we were within 15 seconds. If you would read that to be 2 5-second sirens, that would be a 1-minute warning. And this means there will be one final look around the property by the people in charge of the actual demolition, because although there's a little bit of Hollywood here, there's a certain degree of danger too. They have to make absolutely sure everyone is back from the blast zone. It's interesting that the most danger here is posed by what Hollywood is doing, and not that much at that. The people who knocked these buildings down developed their technology over 50 years ago. They have imploded several thousand buildings, and they say in that experience they have never had a misfire. Nonetheless, once the building is down, nobody will be allowed to approach it. Well, people from the demolition company, people from the fire department, the fire marshal's office, will go over to the rubble, make sure everything has been blown so there won't be any accidents later. There will also be a lot of dust after this. I would expect, depending on which way the wind blows, it could get pretty dusty around here. However, fire hoses have been hooked up to the fire hydrants around the building, and they will immediately begin spraying the debris. Keep the dust cloud down. There we had 3 1-second sirens. That should be 15 seconds. There's the action. There are the actors running. There's the stunt car off to the side. Crowd like that, Kim.
What a fantastic spectacle.
Look at that dust cloud. That dust cloud, the Soreno was 7 stories tall. And that dust cloud is bigger than the Soreno. Let's look at that again in slow motion. This is from the rear of the hotel. From our offices in the South Trust Bank building. You can see the very controlled demolition. Quite a sight. Quite a lot of work went into this. The people from Hollywood told us they have been working on their pyrotechnics that you just saw flash there for 6 weeks. And of course, Controlled Demolitions Incorporated had been here for about the same period of time readying the building. Now it's all over. Kim?
And it looks like it all went just as planned, Steve. No problems whatsoever.
Not that we can tell from here. People are beginning to mill about. We have yet another slow motion shot of what this looked like just a few minutes ago. Some fast work in the editing room trying to turn around some of the shots our cameras caught.
Pretty amazing sight.
Yes, it is. Amazing
Wow.
that they can do this. What will happen next, as I mentioned, they're going to try to knock that dust cloud down. The fire hoses should be getting to work, and there should be an inspection going on even as we speak. It's very doubtful, though, that there are any explosives left in the building at this point. Oh, I understand our camera is still working behind the building, the one that we had. Let me look at the screen here if I could. I know I wasn't supposed to drop out of the box there, but we should actually be able to see what it looked like when the explosives went off. Mostly dust at the moment. Later on tonight, we're going to pull all the videotape from all of our cameras, and I believe we had 6 here today, string it all together and bring it to you again tonight on the news. Kim?
And that'll be something to see. Steve, when are they going to start cleaning up the big mess?
Right now. That starts almost immediately, and that is a big mess. Yeah, they just knocked down a 7-story building covering over half a square block. It'll take them, they estimate, 45 days to haul the debris away. Then Bay Plaza Companies, the owner of the building and the owner of the property, tells us they are going to landscape the property until they're ready to build something new on it.
Now, for those who didn't hear our discussion earlier, the actual stars of the show, Mel and Danny, weren't there for the explosion or the implosion, were they?
Those were stuntmen. We were told that Mel and Danny were given the day off. They were shooting very hard the last couple of weeks, and they just brought the stuntmen in. When you see it in the movie, though, you'll hear their voices.
It looks like people are being allowed right up to the site now.
They are being probably allowed up to the street. I don't think they're being allowed up to the actual site. There were a lot of police ribbons up there that people were asking us about. Those were actually part of the movie. In this scene, the hotel has been evacuated. There's a bomb inside. There are policemen and firemen outside, and they all run away right after the building, or right before the building explodes. So those ribbons and police cars were very deliberate. In fact, the police cars came from Universal Studios. They were rented by Warner Brothers just for this event, kind of props that they just keep around.
Absolutely nothing left standing over there, that's for sure, as we can see from our sky-high viewpoint.
There you go.
I think we're going to see a slow-motion picture one more time, is what I'm being told. Here we go.
Side.
Could never get tired of that picture. And that's our special report. More on the implosion of the Soreno tonight on Eyewitness News at 6 o'clock. Thanks for joining us.
In my family.
The Soreno belches smoke and caves in on itself, exactly as the experts planned.
It was great. It's unbelievable.
The walls crash and crumble inward, done in by carefully placed dynamite.
I was filming it, I saw it right in the middle, just it exploded, and it was awesome.
The movie crew's special effects had flash and fire as doubles for Mel Gibson and Danny Glover squeal through the scene.
It was pretty good. It was worth the wait.
The Soreno settles to a mound of crumbled concrete. Once the rubble is cleared away, a shopping center is planned for this waterfront site. It's part of the Bay Plaza project that some St. Petersburg residents view as progress and others view as a crime against their city. Soreno supporters have some comfort today. City leaders have promised to preserve other historic buildings. The Soreno is returned to dust, but this scene may not play again in St. Petersburg anytime soon. Kathy Unruh, Channel 13, Eyewitness News.
The Soreno suffered from concrete cancer. The concrete used to build the hotel was disintegrating into sand. The implosion of the Soreno is